Welcome to this poster session. It's the art of remote dragon assessments, training, and customization. My name is Alan Cantor, and I'm a Toronto-based job accommodation specialist. Much of my work involves speech recognition, and this session was occasioned by the need for me to quickly transition from doing virtually everything hands-on to virtually everything virtually. The goal of the session is to talk about effective remote dragon assessments, training, and customization. The three topics are the challenges that I've noticed, the workarounds I've begun to discover, and the advantages of virtual dragon work that I'm beginning to glimpse. So let's start with some of the challenges. The most conspicuous one is that things happen more slowly. Assessments and training especially is a lot slower when done remotely. There's less context available for me as an assessor, as a trainer. So for example, there are things that you just don't pick up while viewing things through Zoom. Things like the sonic environment, the individual's working postures, the equipment that they're using, etc. And also, remote control of the individual's PC is not guaranteed. For some of my corporate clients, I can view the employee's screen, but I cannot control their computer, which means that I can't do the tweaks that I would normally do if I was sitting in the room with the individual. Some of the workarounds that I found, I'm organizing these thematically. We really have to embrace the constraints that these times are imposing because there is great creativity in working within the limitations. So find those, embrace the constraints and find ways to work around them. One of the best things about working virtually is that it has forced me to emphasize basics and to really stay really focused on what is fundamental. It has provided so many opportunities to do things in new and creative ways, ways that I never would have imagined 6 or 7 months ago. Now that I've been doing virtual dragon work for a while now, I'm beginning to say, hey, this is not so bad. Some of the advantages are that I can do more frequent training sessions rather than book something twice a week or twice a month. I'm able often to book 3 training sessions in a week. And that's a much better way to do training on a sophisticated program like Dragon. Frequent training. It means that being laser sharp in one's focus becomes really key. And I can see how going forward post-pandemic that I'll be doing more of this to really stay on what is most salient to the person and not get off on too many tangents. And finally, another advantage is the ability for me to provide quick feedback to the people who I'm training. I can often get a written summary to the individual who I'm working with 10 or 15 minutes after I finished working with them by email, rather than preparing my summary after I get back to the office. So a case study is an IT professional who I did some Dragon training with, who has typing injuries and for whom Dragon is a really good fit. The constraints we were working under included that I could not control her computer, and so therefore I couldn't adjust things. Many of the applications she was using were very Dragon incompatible. And finally, although I didn't realize it during the initial assessment, that the environment is actually quite noisy. The workarounds that I found were that I did assess the environment by asking her to listen carefully to her environment and report back to me everything that she heard, no matter how insignificant it sounded. There was a fan that was not audible through WebEx, and once we knew about it, I was able to get her to point the fan in a different direction so it was not creating sonic interference. We focused exclusively on email and didn't touch any of the less Dragon-friendly applications that she was using. And because she was technically inclined, I took the opportunity to introduce her to some of Dragon's back end, which she really appreciated and was able to use to her own advantage. The result was that she only needed 3 sessions. Note, most people need 4, 6, 8, even more sessions with hands-on training, and partially because it's hard to get the sessions in close proximity. With her, we did the 3 in a 5-day period. She learned the skills very quickly because we were focusing on fundamentals, and it all happened so quickly that she avoided learning some of the bad habits that many Dragon users adapt when they're struggling on their own. So to wrap up, my goal is to talk about effective remote Dragon. And if you'd like to talk more about this, I'd welcome a chance to talk to you. Please feel free to call me at 647-542-5098 or send me an email at Alan, A-L-A-N, at cantoraccess.com, CANTORACCESS.com. Bye for now.